We have significant news from Montreal. Looks like Carey Price will likely miss the entire 22-23 season, and it sounds like there's a decent chance his career is indeed over. We'll discuss this news coming up next. So welcome back to another video here at Top Shelf Hockey. As I mentioned, most of you may be aware of some of the news here coming out around the Montreal Canadiens in the past several hours. Of course, Carey Price is factors in to be a significant part of that. Obviously, at this point, we don't know a lot of certainty for the future, but it looks as though it's pretty much a guarantee that he will not play during the 22-23 NHL season. Of course, we saw the Montreal Canadiens swing a fairly significant trade with the Calgary Flames, taking on center iceman Sean Monahan, who has 1 year left on his deal, just shy of $6.4 million. Well, obviously, you have to wonder how are they able to do that. They were already tied up against the cap, there was really no room to take that on. But Ken Hughes revealed during a press conference late last night after the trade was consummated and finalized that Carey Price is not doing well. The knee is not responding, and he's likely going to miss the entire season. So that gives them $10.5 million in cap room that they can place on long-term injured reserve. Now, of course, Monahan himself may not necessarily be ready to start the season either. He's coming off a hip surgery, but during his interview, he said he felt a lot better, the healthiest he's been in a long time, and his goal is to at least be ready to start the year, although there's no guarantee that's going to happen. There is a possibility that Monahan may need a little bit of extra time, but at the same time, we'll see what happens. Regardless, they have the space to activate him on day one if need be. Now that we know the status of Carey Price. Of course, Carey just turned 35, as a young family, young children, so certainly has a lot to factor in here. He's had a really successful career, ultimately not getting that elusive Stanley Cup. But he's appeared over 712 NHL games, career save percentage of .917. Of course, the 14-15 season was a historic season for him, basically taking all the hardware home, including the Hart Trophy, the Vezina Trophy, the Jennings Trophy, the Lindsay Award as well. It was a phenomenal season for Carey Price, one to remember for sure, and probably one of the more recent, truly dominant years by a goalie where you see them win that much hardware in one season. Of course, he won the Masterton Trophy for the 21-22 season after putting up a Brazilian effort to try to come back through a lot of injuries, of course the knee and the hip that he was dealing with during the past off season, and didn't play much last year, but he did make it back and technically play a few games. But there were reports after even a game or two that he was already having some issues with the knee, and was already seeing a follow-up with specialists not long after. So you knew that there was certainly concerns going into the offseason. We've seen reports earlier that he was getting, I believe, some sort of a plasma injection into the knee to see how that went, plus doing rehab. There were some people who went on like local Montreal radio and different things saying how things were looking positive and progressing well, and there was a few positive reports sporadically over the past maybe 6-7 weeks, but we haven't really heard a lot from Hughes or Gorton or Price himself in some time. And I had even done a video back a couple of weeks ago talking about the possibility that Price could be done based on how things were trending with Montreal without actually having any actual intel. To me, it just looked like things were trending that way, but that was just an opinion. Now it appears to be more factual here today. Of course, Carey Price and Shea Weber helped the Montreal Canadiens go on that very much unexpected Stanley Cup Finals appearance in 2021. Obviously, ultimately falling just short of the Stanley Cup here, but certainly the highlight probably of each of their career when it comes to postseason and playoff play, and the most recent long run for the Montreal Canadiens organization. It's been a long time, of course, since they won a Stanley Cup, or any Canadian team for that matter, but they've had some interesting runs in between, and Carey Price has been a huge part of that. I've seen people on social media this morning talking about how it was such a mistake to build around a goaltender, and unfortunately you don't know what you're always getting when you draft players. You hope you're getting really good talent that will play with you for a long time, especially first round talent like Carey was. To me, the mistake was if there was ever a mistake, is paying goalies this much money. As we've seen around the NHL, it's rare to see a goaltender making $9-10 million and win. I mean, obviously, Tampa and Vasilevsky is a bit of an exception. Of course, he was winning even before his huge contract kicked in. But like Bobrovsky in Florida, they're already having regrets there. And Carey Price, even though he had that remarkable season. Has been a really good goaltender. It certainly made things difficult for Montreal. It's like some people say, like, you don't build around a goalie. It's one of the final pieces to add to help you get to winning. You do need good goaltending to win for sure. But, Montreal was blessed here with having, an elite level goaltender that they were able to get as a first round draft pick. And, not too long, within a couple of years, become the starting goaltender at the NHL level and really took off. And, for the longest time, you could say that Montreal will go as far as Price would take them. I know that's something that I've said myself and ultimately was true a lot. When Price was on, you couldn't beat him. Like, he was one of the best. And is he a Hall of Famer, though? I don't know. I mean, he's got a lot of individual awards. He was certainly one of the best of his era. But obviously injuries have played a role here. No Stanley Cups. I know that's a debate I'd love to see. I don't really know the answer to myself. I mean, so certainly leave your comments down below. If Carey Price is over, career's over, is he a Hall of Famer? But I know he seems to be a Hall of Fame person. Off the ice, he seems phenomenal. He's been awesome with fans. I've seen numerous remarkable fan interactions. Just so compassionate and caring. He's done a lot for the game of hockey, giving back, and just being a good person. So I think we can all respect Carey Price that way. It doesn't matter who you cheer for. I know I've never personally cheered for the Habs as a Habs fan, but like I've always respected him and think he's had a phenomenal career, and just looks like he's just one of those guys to me that you can't help but like and respect him just for what he does off the ice and for his skills and his talent on the ice. He's had a remarkable run in Montreal. This very well could be it. So we'll have to wait and see. It's likely expected at this point that Carey Price will show up to training camp just because he's obligated to. He will complete his physical exam, where they're likely going to determine that he's unable to compete. At that point, Hughes did say that for him to have a chance to play again, the rehab's not going to cut it because it's not getting it done. He's likely going to need another knee surgery. Of course, that's what would keep him out all season. That surgery could be significant. As we know, as we get older and have multiple surgeries, it does get hard on your body. And I'm not saying he's done for sure, because we can't say that, but I would think the odds are stacked against him after missing the majority of last year, sitting out pretty much an entire second season, having yet another surgery again. It's going to be, I think, low chance that he does make it back. I'd love to see it, don't get me wrong, but we'll see. I think the rumors around the potential trade of Jake Allen should go away now. We know that there's 2-3 teams out there that really need goaltending help, and obviously Jake would be a short-term solution. He's got 1 year left on his contract, not making a ton of money, and he's proven when he needs to step up and play more games that he can give your team a chance to win every night, which is why there was certainly rumored interest from around a few teams for sure, and I can understand why the Habs would have entertained the thought. But like I said before, when we talked about those rumors, there's no way they're doing that until they know more certainty on Price, and at this point that's unlikely. So likely what happens now is they go into the season with Jake as the starter. Montembeault will be your number 2, your backup goaltender. Of course, he's signed as well. You got Caden Primo in the American Hockey League, and I think this could also maybe pick things up on a potential trade with Vancouver for Michael DiPietro. There's been some rumors around that, them picking up a goalie there. But again, like I said, if it means that Price is going to play this year, that could impact their decision, because they may have to put Montembeault through waivers, and if he clears, he could be in Laval, and then you're looking at either Primo or DiPietro getting bumped down another level, and that's probably not something that they'd really want to do. So I wouldn't be shocked if we see a potential trade in the near future here between those two Canadian clubs as well. So let me know your thoughts on Carey Price's situation, the Montreal Canadiens LTIR situation. This does open up the door for a bigger LTIR pool. Will they maximize it totally? They could likely add another player. They do have a ton of forwards though, so I wonder if we'll see another subsequent move taking Monahan on. Like, they have a lot of capable guys up there, a lot of which are on short-term deals. So even if they don't make significant change before the season, there's definitely going to be a sell-off effect throughout before the deadline for sure. So let me know your thoughts on the Habs news here down in the comments. We'll talk about it further. Of course, if you're not subscribed yet, make sure you do so and stick around. We'll keep you up to date with all the latest news, rumors, and analysis on all 32 NHL teams. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next time.